Hi, Leanne here from Reboot Mindset Coaching, and I'm back today with my trusty drawing tablet and my pen because I want to teach you another tool that you can use to make life so much easier, not just at home, but also at work. Now, a lot of the people that I work with come to me because they feel that unless something changes at home or at work, then they're not going to be able to get the satisfaction that they want on the inside of them. They feel like in order for them to be happier, someone else needs to change whatever it is that they're doing. And yes, that's probably a thing. I'm the last person to say that that's crap, because it's not. If that person did change, yes, you would be happier. So there's a lot of merit to that. But what I like to do with my clients is to get them to a state where those people and situations can stay the same, but my client's emotional capacity to be Teflon to it all, that's what changes. So as I say to my clients, you are top shelf. You are absolute top shelf. If you are going to go and put yourself down on the discount rack and interact with people who are not behaving appropriately, who are not accountable for their emotions and the impact they have on other people, then good luck to you. But wouldn't you rather be able to keep yourself up on the top shelf and just let them do whatever they want to do down there, and you have no ill feeling about it? Like, they don't have the ability to impact your mood because you are the only one that gets to do that. Of course you do, but the problem is we don't get taught how to do that, do we? Until now, me and my trusty whiteboard, we're going to teach you how to do this. One thing I want to stress to you, though, is that in the past, whenever you've tried to change how you feel about something, you've usually done it by trying to demean yourself and your own needs. You've probably said things to yourself like, just let it go, don't worry about it, just whatever. But these things aren't helpful. It doesn't help you, because you're actually almost needing to dismiss your own needs in order to feel better. And that's not a cycle I want you to get into. I want you to get out of that cycle. I want you to be able to choose your own response to things in a way that values you and makes you feel good without anyone or anything else needing to change. That's what I'm going to teach you today. If you would like me to come in and teach this to your team, let me know. Have a watch and then let me know if you think this would be valuable. I like to call this the anatomy of a shitstorm, but that's probably not overly professional, is it? So instead, we shall call it the evolution of a reaction, because that sounds a lot more professional. I'm going to draw it out for you because I want you to really, really understand what is natural. So I'm going to load up my whiteboard here. And as I do, I would like you to think of a situation that annoys you. It could be people not washing their cups. It could be that, I don't know, people aren't putting stuff away. It could be that someone doesn't say hello to you when they walk past. Doesn't matter what it is, but I would love for you to think of something just so that you can try this on as you play along with me. I'm going to draw one out for you so that you can see my example, and then you can try it on for yourself. And I'm going to give you a before and an after. Because we can, let's change color. Let's do this one red. Let's make it sort of danger. So the situation that I want to run through with you is, let's say the situation is that you walk into a room, excuse my writing, and two people stop talking. Let's just use that because it's a fairly generic one that we can all relate to. Now, that's the situation. Then we have a thought. Now, what's the most common thought that you would have? Yes, your thought would be, they're talking about me. And that's pretty substantial. Well, that's pretty understandable, isn't it? They're talking. My writing's actually a lot better normally. It's just that this is digital, about me. So then what happens? You have a feeling, don't you? What's the feeling that you have? You can feel it, can't you? You feel judged. You would feel angry. You would feel as though you were rejected. You would feel maybe even a bit humiliated, thinking that people are talking about you. All natural responses. So then the action, this literally means like, what do you do? What happens then? So I would imagine that you probably tense up. I would imagine that you feel like leaving. I would imagine that you are upset. You would also probably damage or doubt that relationship. That's fairly normal, isn't it? That if that was to happen, then it would be natural that relationship would be damaged. So then, of course, what's the result? The result is that the day is ruined. Or maybe that doesn't look very neat. Let me rub that out. Isn't this great technology? So the day is ruined, or at the very least, your mood goes down. So it really does impact your mood, and you'd have to be a robot for it not to, wouldn't you? So you can see here that there you are, you walk into a room, two people stop talking, you think they're talking about me, you feel judged, angry, rejected, humiliated, you tense up, you feel like leaving the room, you're upset, the relationship, you can never get it back. It doesn't matter what they say. The result is that maybe the afternoon is ruined, maybe your mood falls down and you find it hard to recover from that. So what we would naturally normally do is that we need for them to not talk about us at all in order for us to feel okay. Now, we can't control what other people do, can we? Wouldn't it be great if we could, but we can't. We can't. If our happiness and peace of mind comes on the other end of other people changing and giving us that peace of mind, we're throwing away all of our power because it will never happen. And as long as they don't give it to you, you can't have it. So I'm about to teach you right now how you can have it. Let me change to another color. Let's go green, because it's subconscious. Green is like, go, green is happy, green is light. So the situation is the same. We're actually not going to change that. The situation will be the same. You still walk into a room and two people stop talking. But instead of the thought of they're talking about me, what would happen if we chose a different thought? And that thought could simply be something like, oops, I must have disturbed them. So you walk into the room and your thought is, oops, sorry, must have disturbed them. What do you feel? Not a lot. You don't feel a lot, do you? You just sort of like, actually, you don't really feel anything. So let's put a line there. The action, what is it that you do? You just go about your day. Like, you just carry on. Oops, where's my loop? Go about your day. And the result is that you just get on with it. The result is that it doesn't change anything. The result is that your mood just stays level. So I want you to see here that, change my color again, let's go yellow. We, as humans, believe that people need to treat us better in order for us to feel valued and to feel better. Now, yes, we do want people to treat us good, because I'm not saying that if people treat you badly that you should just gloss over it. That's not what this is about. But what I want to get you to a state of understanding is what's really going on here. What if anything could happen and you're immune to it? Well, you can be, because it's actually not the two people that were talking that is the problem. It is the thought that you had about it. The thought is actually what's letting you down. I want to change that because you can't really see that yellow very well. It's the thought. Now, this is what will determine whether you are on top shelf or whether you take yourself down to the discount rack. It is your thought. In the past, you've tried to dismiss your thought. No, choose another one. Let me give you a tip on how to do that. Don't try to make your thought the opposite thought of what you're having. Try this. Think of your favorite comedian, or think of a friend that always knows what to say, or think of a celebrity. So let me think of one. If you were to, oh gosh, put myself on the spot. I should have thought about this before, shouldn't I? So my thought, instead of going for someone else, my favorite person to call on for my thoughts is, what would a 5-year-old think? If you can come up with something that's almost funny and almost a bit naughty, you're going to find this will work really, really well. So, for example, in this situation, if I walked into a room and two people stopped talking and looked at me, I would go, "I've got the power." Like this. So then, of course, none of that other stuff would happen, would it? None of it would happen. You could go into a room, and if this happens, you might think, "Yeah, damn girl, you'd want to be talking about me. I'm all that." Try and find a thought that feels almost funny. You want a piece of this? It's like, I know, I'm gorgeous, aren't I? Something like that. You don't want to say it out loud, but you want to have it in your head, because you will then start to realize that it's not them talking about you that's the issue. It's your thought about it. Now, yes, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. Let me take this off whiteboard so that I can have a bit of a chat with, cancel. Okay, I know what you're thinking. If you walk into a room and two people were to stop talking, and you actually do know that they're talking about you, and you do know that they're not being pleasant, this formula still applies. It's not about dismissing the fact that they're talking about you or dismissing your right to question that. It's about changing your ability to deal with it. The thought that you choose is what lays between you having a reaction or a response. Or in other words, it's what lays between you being emotionally reactive and emotionally intelligent. So you walk into the room and those people are talking, and you actually know for a fact that they're talking about you because you overheard something and you know that it's not okay. If you were to have that initial thought of they're talking about me, and you go into that whole stimulus of, "Oh, they're awful, why can't people be up front? I thought they liked me," all of that sort of stuff, you're not going to be in a position to have a conversation with them about it that's mature and logical and responsive and emotionally intelligent because your emotions are all flared up. When you choose a better thought, you then choose your ability to either respond from the discount rack or from the top shelf. So if your thought then became, I wonder if there's a problem, you would then come into a mindset of actually maybe what they're talking about is an opportunity for you to grow or learn. Maybe they've actually got a genuine concern that they don't feel that they could bring to you, and this could be an opportunity for you to grow. On the other hand, if they're just being bitchy or nasty, your ability to go up and regulate your response would allow you to say, hey, I just saw you guys having a conversation. I heard my name mentioned. Is there something, is there an issue? Is there something that's going on? You're going to find one of two things will happen. Either they will say, well, yeah, we've got a bit of an issue, but we just don't know how to bring it up with you because we really like you and we don't want to upset you or anything. And then you can have a mature conversation. The other thing that might happen is they might go, no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. But that's still useful because you know what? You've taught them that when you see something tricky, you are okay about addressing them about it, which makes them less likely to talk about you. So either way, your response to what happens is not for the purpose of what they say back. It's for the purpose of letting them know that you don't mind having the conversation. So very, very quickly, because I know that you've watched this for a while now, very quickly, I want to give you one more example. Let's just say that you don't sleep well. The situation is that you don't sleep well. And when the alarm goes off in the morning, you've had like 2 hours sleep. Your thought could be, oh, today is going to be a terrible day. It's going to be hard. So then your feeling is, oh, heaviness and exhaustion and struggle. And your action is that you find it hard to get stuff done and you can't get your thoughts together. And then the result is that you don't have a productive day and you do come home exhausted and prove yourself right. So how do we change that around? You understand that the thought that you have is what programs all of your neural pathways to go, okay, because that's its job card. Whatever your thought is, your mind prepares for as if you are right. So let's say you've only had an hour and a half sleep and you are driving to work. And instead of your thought being, oh, today is going to be so hard, what if your thought was something along the lines of, can't wait to drive home this afternoon because then I'll know just how easy today was. I only had a few hours sleep or a couple hours sleep, but I nailed it. You're going to find that your mind's going to go, okay, cool. And then that's what it's going to prove. And you're going to find that you will be engaged during the day. And yes, you will feel tired, but it's not going to mean the big, heavy sack of that it would have meant before. It actually just means that you're tired. So the thought is what's messing you up and your relationships, not what's happened, because you know that especially in your relationships privately, when you bring something up to your partner or someone and they change and they improve that, it's usually not long before something else is annoying us, because the problem was never them. The problem was also never you. The problem is the story that you created about the thing. That thing is not the problem. What you thought that thing meant, that is the problem. Now, I'm very happy to help you with this. I can help you with this in 2 ways. You can reach out to me through my website and say, Leanne, this happened. I don't know what thought to choose. Help me. And I'll send you back an email with a couple of ideas. If this is something that you find that you do a lot, or your teams do a lot because they're quite reactive, or you're quite reactive, or your partner's quite reactive, and you would really like to understand this better in a way that becomes second nature for you and your team, let me teach it to you. I can do that through a private one-on-one session, or I can come to your workplace or create some online content for your team, or even run a workshop or a training. And I can do that easily for you. I would love to do that, because there is so much more I could share about this that would make it even make more sense. You can do that by going to my website, rebootyourlife.com.au. My name's Leanne, and I am the senior trainer and leadership consultant for Reboot Mindset Coaching. I would love to have a conversation with you about this and help you and potentially your team start to become accountable for their thinking, because you know what? Then their doing is going to be completely different, as is yours. Reach out to me. Would love to have a chat. rebootyourlife.com.au. Would love to chat, because imagine if shitty things could still happen, but they had no effect on you. Imagine the power you'd have. You've already got it. You just have forgotten where to put it, where you've put it. rebootyourlife.com.au. Let's chat.